In this video, we are going to examine how to calculate the pressure in a liquid and explore how it changes with depth. We will also discuss the factors that determine whether an object floats on the surface or sinks to the bottom of a liquid. When considering pressure in a liquid, it is important to understand that it behaves differently compared to gases or solids. If you immerse an object in water, the majority of the pressure acting on that object comes from the continuous collisions of surrounding water molecules. These molecules are in constant motion, and their impacts generate a force on the object. However, a smaller component of the total pressure arises from the weight of the water located above the object. This weight acts as a downward force, and as the object is placed deeper into the liquid, the weight of the water above it increases, thereby increasing the pressure at that depth. This is because the deeper the object is submerged, the more water there is above it exerting a gravitational force. Another key factor that affects the pressure in a liquid is the liquid's density. The greater the density, the more mass there is in a given volume of the liquid, and therefore, the heavier it is. This increased weight leads to a higher pressure. Additionally, the strength of the gravitational field also influences the pressure, as it determines the force of gravity acting on the liquid's mass. A stronger gravitational field means a greater force pulling the liquid downwards, thereby increasing the pressure. These relationships are represented in the equation for calculating liquid pressure, where pressure, measured in pascals, is equal to the depth or height of the liquid column, multiplied by the density of the liquid, and then multiplied by the gravitational field strength. To understand this better, let us look at a practical example. Imagine a person diving from a depth of 20 meters to a depth of 90 meters. We are told that the density of water is 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. To determine the change in pressure acting on the person, we need to calculate the pressure at both depths and then find the difference between them. At a depth of 20 meters, the pressure is calculated by multiplying 20 by 1,000 by 9.8, which represents the gravitational field strength on Earth. This gives a pressure of 196,000 pascals. At a depth of 90 meters, the pressure is 90 times 1,000 times 9.8, which results in 882,000 pascals. The change in pressure is the difference between these two values, which is 882,000 minus 196,000, equaling 686,000 pascals. Alternatively, since the difference in depth is 70 meters, we could have simply multiplied 70 by 1,000 by 9.8 to arrive at the same result of 686,000 pascals. Next, we turn to the concept of upthrust, which helps explain why certain objects float while others sink. Consider a box submerged in water. The surrounding water molecules exert pressure in all directions, creating forces on every surface of the box. Since the bottom of the box is deeper than the top, the pressure at the bottom is greater than at the top, resulting in a larger upward force on the bottom. This creates a net upward force, known as upthrust. This force pushes the box upwards and is the reason submerged objects feel lighter in water. If upthrust were the only factor, then every object placed in a liquid would float. However, we must also consider the object's weight, which acts downward and counteracts the upthrust. Whether an object sinks or floats depends on which force is stronger. If the object's weight is greater than the upthrust, it sinks. If the upthrust is greater than the weight, the object floats. Fortunately, we do not need to calculate these forces each time. Instead, we can simply compare the density of the object to the density of the liquid. If the object is denser than the liquid, like a rock, it will sink. If it is less dense, like an apple, it will float.